What it do? Bedtime crew. Hey man, listen, today I am here to name the GOAT of every single skill in the UFC currently in 2024. So I'm going to be, instead of just saying, oh, this guy's the best striker, this guy's the best grappler, I'm going to be talking about who the best offensive boxer is, who's the best defensive boxer, kickboxing, grappling, the striking, the grappling, the wrestling. So I've actually got Bilal Muhammad selected for every single category. No, I'm just kidding. But we're going to go through them. I'm going to give some honorable mentions. Obviously, I can only pick one fighter that I believe is the GOAT at that particular skill. But I'm going to try and remember as many honorable mentions as I can so that I don't piss people off. Believe it or not, I'm not trying to make you guys mad when I state my opinions, you know. Some of you guys just can't handle the truth, all right? Let's get into this with boxing offense. And I'm going to go with Ilia Topuria. Fuck Topuria, yeah. But he is like one of the cleanest boxers in the UFC. I'm going to say honorable mentions. Got to be Piotr Yan, JDM. Max Holloway's up there with his output, but I think Ilia Topuria is the crispest boxer in the UFC. His offense, his power, and just the ability to go like uppercut, body shot, right hands over the top. The jab is nasty as well. Everything that this guy fucking does in the boxing is beautiful, and I will give him that. You know, he's a little fucking short arm Malteser, but you know, respects to the kid. I can't talk about Topuria without turning into Connor, so I'm going to stop before I start hating on him, but I will say Ilia Topuria is the best offensive boxer in the UFC. Let's move on to the best defensive boxer in the UFC, and again, you could put Topuria in that category. You could put, like, Tom Aspinall has good head movement. I would say JDM's another guy that could be in that conversation. Sean O'Malley, but for the boxing defense, here's the fucking thing, you guys. I'm the best fucking at fucking jabbing and slipping punches in the fucking UFC, you guys. The only way to beat Sean Strickland in the striking is via, like, Drickus blitzing with a head kick on the end and wrestling. You cannot outbox him. He is impossible to hit in the boxing. He schooled Israel Adesanya. And by the way, Kenny Okoye, bro, Izzy isn't in any of these fucking categories, buddy. And he's definitely not in the boxing defense category. Sean Strickland, good boxing offense, but I would say it's not as clean as Topuria. But I would say his defense is what wins him fights and what makes him so hard to deal with. It is goofy looking, but it is extremely effective. His significant strike defense numbers are basically the same as Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev, Sean O'Malley, all these guys that are considered elite strikers. Sean Strickland has the same defense as them, if not better, I believe, than Islam. And I know he has better defense than Alex Pereira and guys like that, and I think even Cyril Gane. So I'm going to say Sean Strickland's the best defensive boxer in the UFC. The Philly shell, the shoulder roll, the arm guard, all of it is extremely effective. Give some fucking props, you guys. Here's the fucking thing, dude. Let's move on to the kickboxing offense. I mean, dude, come on. Come on, dude. There's only one choice here. I gotta pick Alex Pereira, bro. He is the best kickboxer in the UFC. The calf kicks, the left hook, the jab to the body, the head kick, everything that this guy does is not only lethal, but it's also, like, accurate. Like, I feel like people still make it out like he's just this flukester that just finds these random shots. It's not about how it looks, dude. Pause. About how it feels, okay, bro? And Israel Adesanya told me that when I visited him in CKB, all right, dude? It's not about how it looks. It's about how it feels. Trust. That's what Diddy told me when I went to the party, bro. I don't know what I'm talking about. Listen, dude. Alex Pereira is the best kickboxer in the UFC offensively. I would say honorable mentions, you got to add Max Holloway. You got to add Cyril Gane. You got to add Wonderboy. Islam Makhachev's another guy considered for this. Sean O'Malley as well. Easily could take this spot. I'm going to say Alex Pereira is the best just based on what I've seen and my personal opinion. Plus, he's credentialed as a kickboxer. Like, if we're going to really go there, actually, he was a double champion in glory. So, you know, just saying, bro. Do some research, buddy. I'm going to put him as the best kickboxer. Unfortunately, it's not Corey Sandhagen. All right. Let's move on to the kickboxing defense. This is a hard one because I feel like it's really hard to show that you're a good defensive kickboxer. But I would say that my pick is Sean O'Malley. I've seen Sean O'Malley get rocked with a punch once. Outside of that, I haven't seen him get KO'd unless it was a complete fluke by Chito Vera, but that was CGI and that got deleted from the Sugar Athletic Commission. So we're not going to count that. It actually did not happen at all, guys. You're misremembering. Sean O'Malley's movement, his footwork, his feints, his ability to move out of the way of punches, slip out of range, come back in with a counter. I feel like Sean O'Malley is the hardest to hit kickboxer compared to Alex Pereira, who is hittable. Islam Makhachev, we've seen him go to war in more than one fight. And I feel, and Islam Makhachev, that Dustin Poirier fight, very entertaining, but come on, dude. It's Dustin Poirier. You're supposed to destroy Dustin Poirier. I didn't think that was going to happen, but a lot of people did. Whereas Sean O'Malley, pretty untouchable in his fights, pretty hard to hit, hard to track down. And I feel like that's a big part of the kickboxing defense. You can't really find him with kicks. You know, the punches are really hard to land. He kind of baits you with his chin forward. So I'm going to say Sean O'Malley's the most defensively sound kickboxer in the UFC. Obviously, Islam does deserve an honorable mention. You could throw Sean Strickland in there as well. Cyril Gane's pretty hard to hit as well, but he's been dropped by Tai Blobby Vasa, so can't really throw bro in there. I think Sean O'Malley's my pick here, but there's a lot of good options. Like I said, I'm gonna miss somebody. Okay, I know that you're mad. I know you're mad in the comments, being like, dude, what about Corey Sandhagen? What about fucking Cheeto Vera? He actually has a crazy good kickboxer, dude. Shut the fuck up, bro. I don't know who you complaining about. I just know you are, but I think Sean O'Malley's the best defensive kickboxer. Let's move on to the wrestling, bro. We've talked about the striking. Now we got to talk about the wrestling. And in terms of wrestling offense, just straight takedowns, control. I'm not going to add jiu-jitsu into this. That's another section entirely. Purely, who do I trust the most? Who do I think is the most dangerous wrestler in terms of taking people down, controlling them, out-scrambling them offensively? I would say it's still Khamzat Chimaev. I know that people are going to disagree with me on this, and they're going to try and have some fake hardcore pick of like, actually, if you check the statistics, Alex Pereira is the most successful wrestler. It's not Bo Nickel. It's not Bot Nickel. I don't think it's Tom Aspinall. He's fighting complete blobs. Khamzat Chimaev is ragdolling guys like fucking Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, bro. And we're talking about Gilbert Burns in his supposed prime, right? Nobody talks about the fact that Khamzat Chimaev fucking ragdolled him in the first round and then was like, fuck this, I want to strike with this guy, right? The 10-8 against Kamaru Usman invalidates any points I think you could make about Khamzat Chimaev not being the best wrestler in the UFC. I think Tom Aspinall is like worthy of being mentioned in this. Islam Makhachev, you could literally mention Islam in most of these categories, but I feel like the video would be pretty boring if the whole thing was just glazing Islam or fucking Bilal Muhammad. So I'm going to say in terms of pure wrestling offense and offensive scrambling, control, dominance, he can just get a takedown whenever he needs one. Khamzat Chimaev is the best wrestler in the UFC. I think he will take down Robert Whittaker. And he also has good jiu-jitsu as well. I'm not going to mention him for the submission offense, but he is good as well. Let's talk about takedown defense. This guy's low-key the reason I made this video, or that I wanted to make this video, because I saw a tweet being like, what's your favorite fighter that's good, like the GOAT at like a random skill? And it was talking about this guy. And I agree, dude. Jose Aldo's takedown defense. He is the GOAT of takedown defense. He is the GOAT, bro. I literally cannot remember a time where Jose Aldo got taken down and controlled. Like, I feel like Chad Mendez couldn't hold him down. I remember that video of him running around the wall in Brazil when he's training. I remember Marab literally couldn't do shit to him except knee his thighs. Jose Aldo, the best defensive wrestler I've ever seen all time and right now in the UFC. He can still do it. I would say another honorable mention would be Robert Whittaker. He's pretty fucking hard to take down, which makes him versus Khamzat very interesting, but I do think Khamzat's going to take him down. I'm just saying, if Jose Aldo is 185 pounds, I don't think Khamzat's taking my boy down. That's all I'm going to say, dude. That's all I'm going to fucking say. Before that, I would have thrown in, I think honorable mentions, you got to throw in Kamaru Usman. He's pretty hard to take down. Leon Edwards is also pretty hard to take down. There's a lot of guys you could mention for these things, but I'm going to say that, I'm going to say Jose Aldo is pretty hard to take down. John Jones is another honorable mention as well, but John Jones, we're not mentioning that kid. Let's move on to the grappling. Let's move on to jiu-jitsu, bro. Now, I'm an expert in jiu-jitsu. Obviously, guys, I'm a purple belt. I have 1 gold medal in jiu-jitsu. I've competed once as a purple belt, and I have a gold medal. So basically, I'm the GOAT. That's all. I'm Charles Oliveira. And when it comes to offensive grappling in the UFC, who's most likely to submit you? Who do I think has the best submission offense in the UFC? It's me, guys. It's literally me. I biggest champion. I thank you so much. I bigger the Bronx. My English a little, brother. That's proof that I'm Charles Oliveira. If I'm not Charles Oliveira, how did I just do that? Explain that to me, right? You can't. Just like you can't argue with the fact that Charles Oliveira gets on your neck unless you're the GOAT Arman Sarukian. You're cooked, bro. You're basically done for. He is offensive off his back. I'm not going to talk about the fact that he never tries to stand up. Just purely in terms of submission offense, Charles Oliveira leads the UFC in that category. He's still dangerous as ever. He almost submitted Arman Sarukian multiple times. I will give him that. He still lost that fight. That's all he did in that fight. But we're not going to get into it. Right? Okay, dude. Yeah, Charles Oliveira is the most dangerous grappler in the UFC in terms of submission ability. I would say honorable mentions. You could maybe throw Khamzat Chimaev in that conversation because most of the time, if he takes you down and he gets your neck, he's going to submit you with a DAS or a rear naked choke or something. Who else in this fucking category, dude? I don't know. Brian Ortega's pretty nasty. He's a high like percentage finisher. There's a lot of guys in the UFC worth mentioning, but everyone knows Charles Oliveira is the GOAT in this particular category. 100 overall submission offense. That's what he deserves in terms of 2K ratings. Let's move on to submission defense. Now, this is actually something I'm really good at. Okay? I was joking before about I'm the GOAT of Jiu-Jitsu. Listen, I do have a gold medal. Okay, guys? I'm basically Kurt Angle. I'm not a submission guy, bro. I'm a decision machine even in Jiu-Jitsu. That's a real thing. But I will hang my hat that I'm very good at submission defense. So I'm a leading expert in this field. Okay? I've been nearly choked out multiple times. And I'm going to say right now, the best defensive, like the best at defending submissions in the UFC right now is Volkanovski, right? He's still the GOAT, guys. See, come on, guys. He's still the GOAT of something, right, guys, right? He's still good. He's still good, man. Oh, fuck. Listen, he is still good. And I feel like you could put most grapplers in the UFC. I think you could put Charles Oliveira on Volkanovski's back and he wouldn't get submitted, right? Just from the training with Craig Jones. We've seen it pay off against Islam Makhachev. We saw it pay off against Brian Ortega as well. I feel like it's pretty fair to say that Volkanovski has the best submission defense in the UFC that we've seen against the highest level guys. I'm talking about 2 top 5 pound for pound guys that he's defended submissions against. Sorry, what am I talking about? Brian Ortega. Sorry, I was thinking about Charles Oliveira, not Brian Ortega. But yeah, he has proven that he can get out of most submissions. And a lot of that has to do with heart, but that's also technical. You can just see it from the training with Craig Jones, like I said. So, yeah. Volkanovski's my pick here for the submission defense. Now we're going to move on to not necessarily skills, but intangibles, or I guess tangibles, that do play a factor in fighting. So we're going to talk about cardio, heart, fight IQ, and the chin. And like I said, these are not necessarily skills. These are things you can maybe train a little bit. But more so than anything, these are things that, build up a player's archetype. Like some of these guys, they don't have striking. They don't have grappling. But they got a hell of a fucking chin on them. You know what I'm saying? And for that reason, you got to give them some credit for that. Let's get into the chin. Listen, brother, it is what it is, brother. It was what it was, brother. I know people are going to disagree. They're going to say it's Marvin Vettori. How is that even a fucking question, bro? Marvin Vettori's flipping his fucking computer right now, dude. Guy's pouring marinara sauce all over his Wi-Fi router right now in anger. I just feel like Max Holloway's fighting better, guys. He's been fighting longer than Marvin Vettori. He's fought upper weight class. I know Marvin fought Paulo Costa at 205, but that's kind of a different circumstance. Max Holloway's fighting natural 55ers, and he still hasn't been chinned. He still has been, like, maybe rocked, but I've seen Marvin Vettori get dropped more than once. Right? I've seen Marvin Vettori get rocked way more than I've seen Max Holloway get rocked. And they're both eating crazy shots. I think Cheeto Vera belongs in this conversation as well. I know people don't want to hear it, but John Jones has a crazy chin as well. I will give him some respects for that. A lot of guys you could throw in this. A lot of blockheads in the UFC. Dricus du Plessis has a pretty crazy one as well. But I think Max Holloway is the toughest guy, has the hardest chin. And I don't think we'll ever see Max Holloway get knocked out. I'm just going to say that right now. I could be totally jinxing it. I swear to God, if I'm jinxing it, don't comment. With this age like milk, please just let me kill myself in peace. Okay? Just let me fucking die in peace, bro. If Max Holloway ever gets chinned. But I don't think it will happen. I don't think it'll happen. He genuinely just has a chin like that. And I think he is the GOAT of this category. I know that's controversial. let's move on. Let's talk about cardio. And obviously, if this was 2021, I'd be glazing the fucking house down, talking about my boy Colby Chaos Covington. But it's 2024. We're in a new time. We're in a new time in 2024. Yeah, so I have to give props to Marab, the little fucking goblin of a thing. Marab is the GOAT of cardio in the UFC right now. I was gonna give an honorable mention to Kamaru Usman. I was going to give an honorable mention to Colby Covington. Still, I think Bilal Muhammad is up there. Why are they all well? I just love welterweight, bro. I just want to make my channel talk about welterweight, dude. Right? There's a lot of guys you could consider for this. Dricus du Plessis is like a sneaky one. Sean Strickland's kind of up there too. But I think Marab just relies solely on cardio. So I feel like you have to put him in this conversation. Max Holloway as well belongs in that. But yeah, Marab's literally... Like I said before, some of these guys, they have good striking, they have good grappling, good wrestling, brother. This guy can't strike, can't finish a takedown, can't submit anybody, but he has a hell of a fucking gas tank on him, bro. Yeah, Marab just isn't very good, but he has great cardio, and I will give him that. He is the GOAT of this category, for sure. Let's talk about heart, all right, dude? And I was thinking about this one. I was like, shit, do I put Islam here? Do I put Volk? Do I put, I don't even know, Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway? There's a lot of warriors in the UFC, but you know what, dude? I'm going to say this, man. Like, Dricus du Plessis, he has the biggest heart in the UFC, mate. Okay? Nobody fights like this guy. He's a complete warrior. That's what my fucking comment sections look like after this guy beat Izzy, bro. All my comments are just filled with these random South African bots, just like, listen, mate, Dricus has the heart of a lion, mate. Okay, he's built from a different cloth, mate. He'll come at you like nobody's business, mate. He'll come at you like an angry rhino, mate. He'll never slow down. Okay, I get it, dude. I fucking get it, alright? Dricus du Plessis, he does have crazy heart. I actually like Dricus du Plessis as a fighter. His gaslighting tendencies are very funny, but he does have crazy heart. He pushes through being tired. He pushes through face planting when he tries to wrestle. He doesn't even use... he literally closes his eyes when he's punching, bro. He's still one of the goofiest fighters to watch. He still looks like he's not good at fighting. I'm never gonna... Listen, we can admit that he's a great fighter, but he's not a good fighter. Like, he's not good, bro. These people are so far gone that now they're trying to convince themselves he's actually this technical maestro super genius. Just say it like it is. He has crazy heart. He has crazy cardio. He's a freak of nature in terms of his physicality. He hits like a truck. He does have skills, but he doesn't look skillful. He's not technical. He's not good, but it works. He's effective. Okay? I'm all for agreeing that Dricus has the most heart in the UFC. It's a big part of his fighting style. A lot of it has to do with his culture and his like belief in himself and all this shit. But dude, if you're one of these guys on Twitter that's now trying to cope retroactively, dude, Dricus is actually one of the most skillful fighters in the UFC. Please shut the fuck up. Like, dude, you don't have to lie to yourself, bro. You could just admit that this guy's just a Chad, and that's how he wins. He just chads his way through fights. I love it. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, can we be honest? It's the heart, dude. Dricus is the GOAT of heart right now. And there is one category left to talk about, fight IQ, which I think personally is one of the most important. I'm not going to say it's unteachable. I don't think you can teach someone fight IQ. You kind of have to develop it yourself. From my perspective, I feel like that's the way that I've seen it, is that you have to just be someone that studies tape and studies your opponents and watches a lot of fighting and does a lot of shit like that. And actually goes outside. That's another part of it. I know a lot of people in the country, dude, I have crazy fight IQ. Bro, watching Apex prelims does not make you a genius. Just want to let you know right now. In terms of in the UFC, who has the best fight IQ, I genuinely couldn't choose. I'm going to put two here. I think Bilal Muhammad and Islam Makhachev have the best fight IQ in the UFC right now. I think Bilal Muhammad game plans so fucking well, and people still refuse to accept it. And Islam Makhachev also has a very high fight IQ, picks exactly how to beat an opponent, mixes up all of his skill sets perfectly. Same with Bilal. The striking, the grappling, the wrestling, right? These guys are technicians. They're tacticians, right? Even if they don't look pretty all the time with what they're doing. They're very tactical. They're very, like, measured in what they're doing. Like there's a reason why they do the things they do. And sometimes it looks dumb, but then in retrospect, you go, oh, that's actually a really smart idea that they did that. Like perfect example is Bilal versus Brady. Bilal Muhammad goes out there, goes to war with Sean Brady. People go, wow, this guy sucks. But then you realize, oh, he realized that the grappling was going to be a lot harder than it needed to be. Whereas the striking, you can melt Sean Brady before he loses to Bilal Muhammad. Like he got pieced up by Michael Chiesa. So Bilal Muhammad saw that and capitalized on it, right? You can point to a lot of examples of that with these guys. I feel like honorable mentions, you got to throw Dricus in there, bro. You got to throw fucking Dricus in there, you guys. You got to throw Tom Aspinall in there. He's one of the most cerebral UFC fighters. John Jones belongs in there as well. Yeah, a lot of honorable mentions in the fight IQ category, but these two stick out to me right now. Sean O'Malley's another one. These guys stick out to me as the two GOATs of this category, but this is my opinion on the GOAT of every skill set in the UFC. Let me know down below, guys. Who do you think is the GOAT of all of these categories? I want to read them in the comments down below. I will heart them when I read them. And yeah, man, if you guys enjoying the longer videos, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing my UFC 306 predictions tomorrow. They're coming early, bro. They're coming early, yeah, and they're coming fast. Yeah, pause. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Bedtime MMA. I will be going live this week. I got you. We're going to go live. We're going to do some Bedtime FC. And we're going to watch my last fight. So stay tuned for that. See you guys in the next video, man. Goodbye.